I get a phone call and I hear, Stephen Stone? I go, yes, I am your cousin, Roman Rockover, and I want to meet you. I said, well, okay. Now, Roman is from Poland. He and his mother and father escaped before the Nazis. He went back looking for his brother and got caught. And he spent 4.5 years in a slave labor camp. And I go meet him. And I figure, oh, I'm gay, I'm not very Jewish, you know, he doesn't accept me, he's not going to like me. And he was difficult, Roman was a little narrow-minded and opinionated, but he kept inviting me over and stuff with he and his wife. And he wrote this book on our family, a genealogy, starting in about 1600 in Krakow, and located 700 relatives. He's connecting with me. His wife dies. I did something for him at the funeral, and I'm sitting in the back. He comes back, he says, Stephen, you're mishpucha, you belong up front with us. So I moved to the front row, and he sits next to me. I put my arm around him, and I held him close for the whole service. And it was really important. It was important for him. And he told my sisters, oh, your brother's such a mensch, you know. All I did was love him at that time when his wife died. So one day he calls me up and he says, Stephen, it's Yontif. That means it's Yom Kippur. It's Yontif. You can come say Yizkor for your parents with me today. They blow the shofar at 7. Why don't you come at 4? I showed up at 4. The next year, why don't you come at 1? I came at 1. The third year, why don't you come at 11? So here's this 5th year, the end of the service, they're blessing the children. He says, come on, Stephen, they're going to bless the children. I said, Roman, I'm 52 years old, you know, don't you think this is a little late? He says, what's the matter? You can't be blessed? So on the way up, I realize he's walking me through all these things that my parents didn't do. He's fulfilling his responsibility to bring me back to Judaism. We're walking right under where the rabbi is standing, and over my shoulder I say, what's next, my bar mitzvah? And there it was. You know, I realized that in order for me to be a Jew in the world, I needed to honor the 176 relatives that book mentions were tortured and murdered by Hitler in World War II. My entire family that was in Poland for 350 years was wiped out, and I thought I had a responsibility and an obligation to honor them, and that was when I decided to have the bar mitzvah. And that was in about 1998, and 2.5 years later, in the summer of 2000, 13 of us in a class at Temple Israel of Hollywood had our bar mitzvah. It was sweet. And they asked us for parking. How many are you inviting? And this one says, I've got 3, I've got 12, I've got 7. When it came to me, I said, I have 100. Because I went to everybody else's bar mitzvah, so they came from all over. I do get emotional. I finally had a tallis that I carried to Temple, and I had my reception at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel overlooking Grauman's Chinese Theater. And seeing as that I live on the Hollywood Hills, it was just perfect. Now, who needs to be circumcised? I have an extra night. We got a few minutes before the